Hi everyone, in this video I want to quickly go over the new synced passkey support in Entra ID. Passkeys today are mentioned in nearly every single security related conversation because they bring a lot of benefits to the organization and the user. And I've done a whole set of other videos on passkeys. But what's really attractive about them is they're very, very convenient. Let's say the passkey is stored on my phone. I can just kind of scan a QR code and it will show me the passkey that can be used for the site. And I just select it. But they're also phishing resistant. Now, ordinarily, a lot of authentication mechanisms, if it's a text code on a phone or a text code from an app, the user can be tricked. Some remote person says, hey, I'm from the help desk. I need to check who you are. Tell me the code that's on your phone, that's on the key or whatever it is, because there's no proximity requirement. With a passkey, if I'm trying to authenticate using the passkey on this machine, well, this machine has to have, for example, a Bluetooth connection or NFC connection, or it has to be physically plugged in to the device with the passkey. So I cannot be tricked to authenticating some machine hundreds of miles away. And also, when I want to use a passkey, the passkey is for a certain domain, a site. And so if someone's trying to trick me, instead of it being Microsoft.com, it's like an RN Microsoft.com, because it looks the same, it wouldn't work because the passkey, the phone can't be tricked. The domain doesn't match that of the passkey. So that sort of fake URL phishing won't work either. Now, Entra ID has had passkey support for a while. However, this was restricted to storage within the Microsoft Authenticator app on your mobile device. Obviously, you can also use Hello for Business, FIDO2 physical keys as well. So you can think about, in this scenario, we have our phone. If I could draw a phone. So we have our phone. On our phone, we have the Authenticator application. I can't really draw the logo properly, but we have the Authenticator app. And then you go ahead and create that passkey. Now, that passkey lived within the Authenticator app on that particular device. So it did not synchronize anywhere else. So you could think about this as device bound. The key exists in that phone and only that phone. I could obviously create a different passkey on a different device, but that would be a different passkey for the same account. But it was not synchronizing anywhere. If I lost my phone, I'd have to go and create a new passkey. Now, there's a security benefit to this device-bound approach that as an organization, I know exactly where that key is. I know the key can only be on this particular device. But there's a certain convenience constraint that, hey, for the regular employee, the regular user, if they're not well educated and understand the implications of this, and we've moved away from passwords, and this is how they authenticate, hey, they go and get their new phone, or they lose their phone, well, the passkey is only there. And so now they have to go and, hey, recover their credentials. And there is some great new capability around that as well. But there's a certain balance of the security and then the convenience of use. Now, this is very different from the consumer passkeys that we say and see today for a Microsoft account for the consumer things or a lot of other third parties. There, the focus is it's for the regular consumer. And the regular consumer, there is no way I could have a passkey that exists on a singular device. Because then for the regular consumer, how would they recover it? It would be a disaster. So the passkeys we see in the broad consumer space are synchronized within a certain platform. So I could think about, okay, let's take my iOS device and maybe my iPad or whatever those are, or the Mac OS. So take the Apple ecosystem. So the Apple logo, which I've got no chance of drawing. Let's say Apple. If I create a passkey, and let's draw a specific passkey. if I was to create a passkey on my iPhone, what actually happens is I'm using my Apple iCloud keychain. So that passkey actually will get synchronized up into the iCloud and then also synchronized to my other devices that I use that same Apple account for. So that's a certain ecosystem. So that would be the Apple ecosystem. Likewise, I could have Android, Google. So this could be an Android device. It could be a Chrome browser running on a number of different things. But let's say it's another Android device, whatever. And once again, now I go and create a key on an Android or in the Chrome browser. What that does, this time it's going to sync within the Android little ecosystem. So that key will now synchronize up. So that's going to use the Google Password Manager. And then it would synchronize down again to the different Chrome browsers, different Android devices where I'm using the same sign-in. So it will not synchronize between ecosystems, but within the ecosystem, hey, that passkey is widely available. So this is called a synced passkey. And as you can imagine, that's just a lot more attractive for the average user. They get a new phone, they lose a phone, they're using different various sites. It's just a lot more flexible. So in the Apple, hey, my iOS, my Mac OS devices, my Google, Chrome across different OSs, and the Android devices. So as you can kind of imagine, what we're talking about now is that Entra ID is introducing support for this idea of synced passkeys. So I can now have Entra ID accounts authenticating via a synced passkey. And to do this, we're going to use this new concept of a password profile, passkey profile, once I go ahead and enable these synced passkeys on my tenant. So if we actually jump over super quick. So here, in this environment, we're looking at the authentication methods. Then within authentication methods, we're looking at policies. And specifically, we're looking at Passkey 502. Now, I've gone ahead and enabled and signed up my tenant for the public preview of the synced passkeys. Now, before the synced passkeys, we only had the device-bound type. So if I actually jump over to configure and look at this default passkey profile, this automatically gets the settings that you had previously configured. Now you can see a number of different things here. We can see that it is, let's just zoom in. We can see that it is enforcing attestation. So that means, firstly, I can't use a synced passkey. We'll actually see that. But it has to have an attestation from the key that there's a certain trusted route published to key metadata, which we'll talk more about. I'm only using device-bound. I'm targeting specific AA GUIDs, i.e. particular models and platforms for passkeys. In this case, it's the Microsoft Authenticator ones. And also, again, as you can see here, the option for synced is not even shown. And that's because I'm enforcing this attestation. So this is my default profile. So this default profile exists that is attested, it's device-bound, and it's the Authenticator app. And we can see that all of our users are allowed to use that default passkey profile. So if we think about what that means in our picture up here, what we have effectively said, therefore, is that if I have this idea of all the different users that exist, I have an idea of an all users group. So I have this all users group that contains everyone. And what I've gone ahead and done here is we have that default profile. So the default profile says, okay, I want that attestation. And I'm only doing device bound. And I've targeted that all users group. So that is the target for that policy. So that means that anyone in my company, great, they can use a device bound passkey. So, hey, in this case, these group of users, they can use device bound. And remember, in a lot of ways, that is the strictest security type of passkey because we always know where it is. But now I want to enable synced passkeys. So what we're going to do here, just show it first, is we're going to go ahead and create a different profile. So we'll create another profile. We'll call this the sync profile. And this time we won't say we require attestation. I can't have attestation and synced passkeys. And I'm going to say, hey, this time I want synced. And then maybe I've got a smaller group of users. So maybe this group is maybe a pilot group. Maybe it's a particular group of task-based workers, whatever that is. And I'll link this profile to that target. So it's a more restricted. So these are going to be able to use a more flexible. They're going to get the option. So say, hey, they can use a synced passkey or they can use a device bound. They'll be able to create one of each if they wanted to, or they could create many of each because they're a member of both the policies, because they're a member of this group and they're a member of all users. So they will be able to pick, hey, do they want to create a device bound or do they want to create a synced passkey? So what this looks like is if we go back to configure, I created a second profile called synced passkeys. Notice I did not enforce attestation. I am not limiting it to specific AA GUIs. And remember, attestation just means the passkey has to include a full certificate chain back to a published cert that they have published to the FIDO Alliance Metadata Service, the MDS. That's all that means. But we are not requiring that, and we can't require that. And provided we have that turned off, well, now I can go ahead and set to synced. Now, you'd also see I did have the option to turn on device bound. I could select that if I wanted to. Maybe there's a type of device bound where I don't want attestation. But for now, I'm just making it synced only. And then what I did, notice I've also allowed users to sign up for these so they can go and create the passkeys. I targeted the default passkey profile and synced passkeys to people in the Justice League, the JL. So they could go ahead and create either one of those, which is exactly what we're seeing in this picture here. So if I'm, again, you would roll these out slowly. So it maybe be a pilot group initially, and then maybe it's all my task-based workers. I wouldn't want, for example, my high-privileged users to ever use a synced passkey. I always want to know exactly where their passkeys are. So now, hey, those, in this case, the Justice League group, they would be able to use a synced passkey. I am part of the Justice League. I am Cloud Man. I will bring darkness and clouds wherever you are. That could be my superpower. But I would be able to go and create a synced passkey. And this is something that you as an organization will balance. You'll balance the idea of, hey, the strictest control of the passkey with device bound, definitely going to be my high privileged users, with the convenience and flexibility of the synced passkey. Maybe for my more regular workers, more task-based workers, I'm okay with that. And now, depending on the options, when a user creates a passkey, it will either, if they have the ability to create a device bound, it will say, oh, do you want to use the Authenticator app that's installed on their device? If they have a synced, it'll option to use, for example, the native keychain or the wallet of the iOS versus Android, and they have a third-party ones as well. But they'll get that choice. Now, I created a passkey on my phone, a synced passkey, because I'm in the Justice League. I created a new passkey. But what I'm going to try and do is I also have an iPad mini that is signed in as the same Apple account. So that passkey should be available here as well. So we just want to kind of walk through what that experience looks like. So if we jump over for a second and let's go and look at an in private session, and we just try and go to entra.microsoft.com. Go to sign in options. I want to use a face, fingerprint, PIN, or security key. So I'm not even typing in a username. It's totally easy. Now, there's some passkeys locally on my machine. I'm not going to use those. I'm going to say to use my iPhone, iPad, or Android device, and it shows me that convenient QR code. So now what I'll do is I will open up the camera on my iPad mini, that screen. So now it's going to be a bit confusing, but we'll do that and we'll sign in with a passkey. We'll select that. It's connecting. So that was a really important point of what you just saw there, right? So it's connecting. It has to establish that Bluetooth connection. And now I can select a passkey that matches that particular domain. So it's only going to show me one. So I can't be phished. It's going to make me use ones for login.microsoft.com. And sure enough, there are my synced passkeys. There's my john@saviltech.net. I'll select it. Remember, it's going to make me do a biometric. So it's going to ensure that, hey, you are not present. Like, it has to be there. It's the something I have, which is the device, but it's also something I am. In this case, it's a biometric check. So it's still a strong authentication. I'm signed in. That was it. So that was the use of the passkey. So that was a synced passkey on the device. It just worked. It was a super simple experience actually for me as the user. Just, I'll select this. I want to use a passkey. And it would only offer me the ones that I could actually use for that site. That's the whole point around it. I couldn't easily be tricked because it's checking them for me. And you saw there was an authenticator one for one that I had locally on the app. But then also I had the ones that were in my local wallet. And that's really it. So the whole goal of all of this is now as an organization, you have a choice. I can say, hey, I'll use the device bound for maybe those more high privileged accounts. Maybe everyone can use it. But I'm also for maybe those lower privileged workers. I'm actually okay with them using a simple passkey and have that convenience and just additional flexibility. You control it through the profiles, your passkey profiles, and then you're assigning them to specific groups of users. So as always, I hope that was useful. And until next video, take care.